Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Make sure you share as you join. Share as you join. Share as you join, okay? We are live on studio in ID Mind Radio and Television. So today we want to talk on the crimes of Paul Biya and why the arrest warrant issued to Netanyahu, the arrest warrant issued to other leaders who declared war should also be given to Paul Biya, because you can't discriminate arrest warrants because the evidence of crimes is there. The arrest warrants given to Putin should be the same as they have given it to Netanyahu. They should also give it to Paul Biya, because the crime committed in Ambazonia since 2017, it is very, very heinous on the people of Ambazonia. We can measure, we can count the amount of people that have been killed in Ambazonia. We can't even count the amount of villages, houses burned. We can't count the amount of prisoners illegally incarcerated in the dungeons of La Republic. We cannot count the amount of refugees who are now in displaced to Nigeria, Central African Republic, Gabon. We cannot count the amount of disappearances. How many people have disappeared in the hands of the La Republic government? We cannot count all these atrocities. We cannot count the people that life have lost in genocide. We cannot count. So when they issue arrest warrant to Netanyahu, they issue arrest warrant to Putin, I think Biya has all the ingredients, all the hallmark of a dictatorship, a barbaric regime to merit an arrest warrant. That is something that you have to look at, because you cannot see somebody who openly state that they want to cleanse Ambazonia, they want to make the people of Ambazonia, they want to wipe out the people of Ambazonia from the earth. They want them to change everything that they are doing, to think like them. They want the people of Ambazonia to be extinct, or to make them become something else that they don't want to become. So when you look at that, the crimes, the torture, the illegal detention, all these crimes, okay, if you want to wonder what Biya is doing now, okay, it is very perplexing to understand why the global community think that apprehending revolutionary leaders trying to liberate their country is a solution to the problem. Because first, Biya sent his people to go and arrest President Ayok Tabe, right? Did the crisis end? No. They have gone and arrested Ayabacho. Have the crisis ended? No. So that just tells you that no matter how many leaders you arrest, no matter how many people you arrest, it will not solve the problem. The problem is Paul Biya, who declared war on the people of Ambazonia. You cannot allow the person that declared war. You're going to arrest the people that are fighting for their freedom from the dictatorship. Okay? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And this is what is going on. If the international community want to bring justice to the people of Ambazonia, they have to look at the crimes committed by the regime of Paul Biya. It baffles me how people will go and be celebrating 42 years of somebody who had bad governance, corruption, and societal decay. You go and celebrate that kind of person when you know that this person has brought nothing to you in the first place. It's only selfish people who celebrate somebody because they are in a position, right? Because of your selfish interest, you feel very comfortable to celebrate somebody. Paul Biya has destroyed. This is the man. See, this is Ambazonia. Look at the territory of Ambazonia. Look at the roads, the dilapidated roads. Everything has gone to drain. That's Paul Biya, the dictator that has destroyed southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. He declared war. He sent his military to occupy the land. Now there is a military occupation in Ambazonia. The people of Ambazonia does not have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of movement. There is that crazy thing called Kale, where they will go in the night and start asking people for their ID. You don't have ID, they bundle you and put in the truck. You don't know their whereabouts. That is what is going on now. But look at it in a different vision. Okay, when you see people who are just there for their own belly, there for their own, you see, they don't care what's going on. Okay, they don't care. But you cannot say something is going on well when it's not going on well, right? It's not going on well. We have something like this. They say Netanyahu, okay? This is it, international arrest warrant. They say they issued Netanyahu arrest warrant, right? But not to Paul Biya. When Paul Biya is a huge person that has committed a lot of crimes. It's very, very biased for them to issue Netanyahu arrest warrant and not Paul Biya. The crimes that Paul Biya have done in Ambazonia is huge. Okay? Yes. It's huge. Okay? But look at the war crimes that Paul Biya has committed. Number one, war crimes and crimes against humanity. Okay? We see the extrajudicial killing, torture, sexual violence that the military of Paul Biya are doing in Ambazonia. Okay, we have seen arbitrary arrests of our leaders, arbitrary arrests of lawyers, arbitrary arrests of journalists and killings, forced disappearances, and destruction of villages. More than 400 villages. Biya sent his military to go and burn Ambazonian villages. The human rights organization, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have documented abuses allegedly committed by the Cameroon government militaries. Okay? But that military is under the command of Paul Biya. Remains a central concern for the international community to, you cannot see this kind of crimes and you stay quiet. You say this is not war crimes, or this is not crime against humanity. The extrajudicial killings. See how many people, how many Ambazonians have died along the years. Targeting civilians. The massacre that happened in Santa, from Kumba, from Ekona to Kwakwa to Ngabu, all these massacre are targeting of civilians, innocent civilians We know that from for the past years, there have been widespread allegations that government, the Cameroon military, are responsible for this, and they like in Gabo, the government forces refused that they were not the one committing that killed the people in Gabo. But later, because of pressure, they said, "Oh, okay, it was because of whether confused identity or how they call it." That's how they call it, and that is how you see they went ahead and burned villages, they burned schools and hospitals. They, where you see, and they went ahead and also created more detention centers, detention camp, torture chamber, where if they torture you in those their camps, they'll still send you to Yaoundé to face the same torture. But all these are reports that have emerged, and we've seen them in videos, okay, that the Ambazonian people are subjected to torture and unlawful detention by the military and police. We always say, why should Ambazonian be taken to Yaoundé? They have a court in their regions. We have Anglo-Saxon court. We have a court. Our system is English law and everything. They are coming to impose the French laws in our land, which we don't know, okay, and our people don't know why, okay. Yeah, so these are things that are happening within the ranks of Paul Biya, okay, where you see repression of peaceful protesting, okay. The government of Cameroon does not allow protest. In 2016, when the people of Ambazonia stood up, they shot at them. There were killings. People, the Biya regime does not care because there's always France backing what the allied powers are doing, right? They always back Biya. But what is, when you measure the response to this peaceful demonstration, how Biya used heavy-handed military crackdown on these civilians, don't you see that is really against international law for you to, when there's freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of protest, but Biya does not allow that, went ahead and killed protesters. Yeah, and several international groups like the ICC should step up and step in, because they have had several arguments that Biya is committing war crimes. Okay, yes, and they have argued that Biya's actions in Ambazonia and his government policy in handling the Ambazonian crisis meet the threshold of international crimes that fall under the jurisdiction of ICC. The case for an ICC investigation into Cameroon president has been presented by both local activists and international observers. So I don't know what they are waiting, because most international organizations and activists have presented this against Paul Biya, but there is no action. Okay, yeah, because what is happening in Cameroon today is impunity, okay, and lack of domestic accountability, where Biya knows that because he's being backed by France, he can kill anyone, he can do whatever he wants, okay, despite the severity of the situation, okay. But what is the reaction of other countries to this? This is what we are asking. Why is there very little accountability, or very little or no accountability within Cameroon for those responsible for the atrocities? Why is there little attention like other areas or other countries where the there's fighting going on. Ambazonia, there's a war going on in Ambazonia. Okay. What is the legal basis for ICC action? We want to find out what ICC can do, because we know that the ICC has a jurisdiction over crimes committed in a territory of a state, part and by nationals of those states. Okay, we want to know why Cameroon cannot respect this international law. Okay, we want to, because we know that Cameroon is a party to the Rome Statute. Okay, the treaty that established the ICC. Okay, so we don't understand why, if they say that Ambazonians are terrorists, or Ambazonians are people who are the ones causing the problem, right? Then he should send his complaint to, right? But he is not complaining to anybody for the past 8 years, because he know that he's at fault. Because when you have an issue with someone, you can go to court and report the person, right? If you know that you have a just cause or a just case. But Biya has never done that. He has never taken the people of Ambazonia to somewhere and reported them. Okay? Because he know that when he goes there, they will hold him there for him to explain why this is happening in his own country. But can he go there? No. Okay? So we are looking at that because we want to know why Biya's government is using excessive use of force against the people of Ambazonia. We have seen the Cameroon military that have been accused of using excessive force. Okay, the American government ban or stop giving military support and some weapons to the Cameroon government military because of the weapon that they were giving. Instead of using that on Boko Haram, they were using that on our civilians in Ambazonia. Okay, and that is why we say that the government of Cameroon is encouraging the military, her military, when we know that there are numerous reports that suggest that the Cameroon military has deliberately targeted civilians in Ambazonia. Okay, and they have been the one that have burned houses, killing women and children, and executing suspected Ambazonian without trial. They will take Southern Cameroonians in Ambazonia and take to the capital of Cameroon, Yaoundé, to try them. And in a military court. Only Ambazonians are being tried in military court, whereas civilians are not supposed to be tried in a military court. Okay, that is a very big issue. Okay, then go to indiscriminate attacks on villages, where you see people die. So many people die in the villages, and the targeting of schools, hospitals, and these areas that are not, legally speaking, are not supposed to be touched by the Cameroon military. But do they listen to that? No. Okay, that is the issue that you see in how homes are being burned, women and children are being killed. You see the indiscriminate attack on children and villages. Okay, the torture and arbitrary detention of some people. It's something of concern. Okay, where you see about 3,000 of Southern Cameroonians are now in different prisons across Cameroon and Ambazonia for just being an Ambazonian. Okay, and we have to condemn that because it has gone beyond hand. Okay, yeah, and that is something that we. Okay, if there's a war in any country, the government must allow easy access to that country for humanitarian aid, for medical aid, for all those aid to flow in, because there's a war there. These aid are coming from different countries. They are coming from maybe World Food Program, or they are coming from different program. Okay, so you cannot deny the right for them to go in and help. So the government has been accused for blocking this humanitarian aid, the Cameroon government, from reaching civilian in conflict zones, which is not good, because you go there and see how the children are suffering because of the war. They are running from war zones. That is very important for us to understand. Then the denial of the right to self-determination of the people of Ambazonia is an international crime, because each country has their right to self-determination. Other countries have had referendums to choose. In Canada, the Quebec people have had 2 referendums. They voted to stay within Canada. In England, Northern Ireland and Wales always conduct their referendum. In a country like Spain, remember, Barcelona is not part, is an autonomous part, but they always have their referendum to choose if they want to stay within Spain. Yes. So most of the time, the denial of self-determination of any people and the violent repression of calls for independence could be seen as a violation of international human rights principles, because each people has a right to self-determine, to go for self-determination. So when you stop them from doing that, whereas the people of Southern Cameroon voluntarily decided to say, okay, let's choose, because they were given two options, to join Nigeria or to join French Cameroon. So they have the right now to still determine if they want to stay or not. You cannot force the people of Southern Cameroon to stay within Cameroon when it was their choice to choose. What could have happened if we choose Nigeria? What could have happened if we were given the third question? So these crimes against humanity is something that we have to condemn. Crimes against the people of Southern Cameroon, crimes against human rights defenders should be condemned. Okay, our people face persecution, our people face arrest, our people face threats, and all these arrests for free expression, these attacks on civil rights or civil society should end. We are freedom fighters. We are not rebels. We are not terrorists. We are not that. Ambazonians are 8 million people. It's not a small country. Okay, the United Nations voted for our independence. We are not rebels. We are a country that the United Nations voted for our independence. So when the people of Southern Cameroon say we don't want to live with the people of La Republique, it's not a crime, okay? Because in the long run, we're still going to be good neighbors. We're still going to be good neighbors. It's not an issue. The government of Cameroon think that treating our people with disrespect, with disdain, is a way to suppress them. But instead, the government of Cameroon has the responsibility to protect the people of Southern Cameroon, because a crime on the people of Cameroon is instead a war crime, this widespread of violence against the people of Ambazonia is a crime against the people and is a crime against humanity. That's why we are calling on the international community, especially the ICC, to issue an arrest warrant to Paul Biya. Because if Netanyahu, Putin has been issuing arrest warrant, and that dictatorship, the dictator in Cameroon has not been issued arrest warrant, it is very, very biased. Very, very biased. Someone that has committed all kinds of crimes. What crime did Gaddafi commit? What crime did Saddam Hussein commit? What crime did all these other people commit that they were issued arrest warrants? We need an international arrest warrant for Paul Biya. Enough is enough. The killings of the people of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia is enough. The government of Cameroon has the responsibility to protect, according to the United Nations. They call it R2P. That doctrine states that every state are obliged or obligated to protect the citizens of that country from atrocities. But you see atrocities upon atrocities, killings, extrajudicial killings, arbitrary detention and arbitrary arrests. These are things that are going on in Ambazonia today. Biya's failure to protect civilians from widespread violence and his government's refusal to allow independent investigation into the situation has led to some to argue that he is in violation of these international principles of human rights. The ICC should come in, send independent investigations, because the Biya regime has refused access to independent investigation. The situation is getting worse. It's not getting any better. Okay, yes, Biya is using the arbitrary power to maintain power. They are continuing the war in Ambazonia to blindfold the people of La Republic that they are fighting a war, whereas they are trying to stabilize their government by telling the people of La Republic that they are fighting a war in Ambazonia. There is nothing that they are achieving there. The people of La Republic should understand that their government is wasting their taxpayers' money in Ambazonia in a war that they will never win, in a country that was independent, okay, and they are wasting the time. So the people of La Republic, the military, everybody, hold your country, hold your government to account. The war they are fighting in Ambazonia is a useless war. Hold them to account. If not, they will keep wasting your taxpayers' money, imposing taxes on you, keep you under suppression, keep you under poverty, because they have no plans than to aggrandize themselves with money and everything. Take note, there is an international call for accountability, and if Biya continues with this regime, the numerous international organizations, including Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, have called for accountability for the responsible for those atrocities in Ambazonia. The ICC could be an appropriate venue for investigating whether Biya, as the head of state, bears responsibility for all these alleged crimes. We saw the Cameroon government that was dragged to the United Nations to give accountability. If things continue this way, we are hoping that the ICC should step up and issue arrest warrant to Paul Biya, because the crimes against the people of Ambazonia are uncountable. We have a lot of eyewitnesses accounts that you will hear and give your own conclusion. Okay, so we are waiting. So while Paul Biya's action has sparked all this international outrage, it is ultimately now we are waiting on the ICC and the international community to determine that action. We are hoping that Biya has already that legal threshold for an international arrest warrant. Biya has already passed that threshold, and we hope that his prosecution for the persecution of people of Ambazonia is coming soon. We hope that the international community will take action and do something for justice for the people of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, to have justice. That is what we are waiting for, and we hope it's going to happen. Hopefully. Thank you for watching.
Freedom's call for from news rise to amend this tale, echoes of strength shall prevail. From Kumbo's heart to Victoria's shore, let the cry of freedom soar. Independence is our guiding light for the